Oh, there it is.
Woo. Okay. I want to welcome everyone who's here for challah and babka making, basically babka making.
Yes.
And I have asked Tammy Arnow if she would share her recipe and her talent, and she graciously agreed. And Halal is here to also help. And thank you to all the time. Thank you for all the time you've spent getting this together.
Oh, well, thanks, Mom, for asking
Yes.
me all the times you asked me, and then I agreed to do it. And thanks everyone for coming. I was reflecting that the last time I did this was, I don't know, it was last spring. It was
Right.
soon after the quarantine started, and it was hard to find flour and yeast. So I remember thinking, I have extra yeast. I can leave it outside in the Ziploc bags on my porch if people need it. So it's been a year. And I miss you all, but it's nice to see faces, and thanks for joining. I feel like we should all be on mute. So I don't know how to mute everyone. I want to, I mean, we can't, Mom, can you do that? Okay. I should say, I want you to chime in with questions. You mute.
If anyone's unmuted, please mute.
We're good?
Okay.
Now it's silent. Okay. But I want you to ask questions. So please, if you have questions or comments or whatever, you just want to say how cute the helper is or anything like that, you can put it in the chat box or just unmute yourself and ask a question. But I just wanted to put it on mute so that we can.
Please speak louder.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. That's a good comment, Sharon. Is that better?
Well, hope it's better.
Yes?
Okay.
Sharon, tell me in the chat if it's better or not. So I have a few disclaimers. So because I like to be fully honest.
A little.
What? Are we okay? Okay, so here are my
It's a little better. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Tell me, I'm trying to be loud. What do you want me-
Yeah, you're loud.
I'm
You're
loud.
loud. You're loud.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So I started making challah in 2011, and Marian asked me how often I make it, and I make it most weeks. I've certainly missed plenty, but when I buy store-bought challah, my family yells at me, and it's good too. It's just not. So
There's still some.
yeah.
Sorry.
And this year, I realized that I could make babka out of challah dough. I tried making a couple of different recipes of babka, and I had my challah dough going in one place, and I had my babka dough going in another place. And I thought, this is ridiculous. Nobody has time for this. So, I mean, some very accomplished bakers would use special babka dough, but I figured if I'm already making challah, that I should try to make the babka out of the challah dough. So I feel a little bit like I'm cheating because there are some really beautiful, delicious, buttery babka doughs out there, but I don't have time for that, and maybe you don't either. And so if you make a challah dough recipe from this first page that Gary put together, just the base dough, you could make challah from that, and you could also make babka from it. So that's what I'll be showing you today. And one other thing, like I said, I'm not a fancy baker. I like to cook. I like to bake. This is a mashup of a bunch of recipes that I found. You might find that you like the cinnamon or the chocolate recipe or neither. cinnamon fan over here. And so you can mess around then with the fillings, and you might find another recipe where you like the filling better. But this will just be to kind of show you the basic idea of how to make the babka. And like I said, just if you have questions, unmute yourself or put them in the chat so we can all learn from each other. And I also mentioned I haven't been making babka nearly as long as I've been making challah. So you might be, no, I mean by nearly, like this year I started. So, oh yes, Mayor, that's, I tried that also. I would actually love to see a recipe. Yeah. Yeah.
It was good the first time, and then it was like good.
So you might be following along in the recipe and see that I made a mistake. So tell me, because I actually have to follow along with the recipe in a way that, I don't have to for my challah dough. And then if you have a pencil or a pen, just mark along, any notes that you have as we go. So I just want to make sure, so far, I know that Debbie has dough and she wants to make babka out of it, and Rhiannon has dough that she's hoping has risen enough to make babka with. Anyone else using the dough? I don't want to, just put in the chat if you also have dough that's made. Going once. Yeah, I know. Okay. Okay, no, that's fine. So then Debbie, as you're, and Rhiannon, as you're making it, just let me know if I'm going too quickly. Okay. So let's start. So the recipe, yeah, I'll tell you. My helper is all ready. So here is the recipe. It is, I printed double-sided, it's 4 pages. The first page is the base dough that you can use for challah, or you can use for babka. So I made the dough this morning. I punched it down, and then it rose again. And I have my dough at the end of the table. So that, yes, I would love you to retrieve that for me. Thank you. So, and then thank you. You're welcome. So the second page of this is if you were making challah. I think I'm not going to take is there anyone that wants to see me braid the challah? Feel free to say so. I set aside time if you would like it. You don't have
Put it in the chat.
Yeah, just stick it in the chat if you would like to just see a demonstration of the braiding.
One person raised her hand.
Okay, great. So I think I'm just going to make a, yeah, I'm just going to make one. This is actually if you say, wait, mine didn't rise that much, this is a double recipe.
One full recipe.
Well,
Like you usually make a half recipe, but
right.
Just like
So this is because I was making challah and babka out of it for all my hungry eaters in my family. So, all right, I am going to adjust this a little bit. So I have a little bit of flour here. And the basic idea is that the recipe as written, this is a double, but the recipe as written makes 2 challahs or 2 babkas or 1 of each. So this makes 4. So I'm just going to kind of divide this basically in 4. Again, if I was fancy, I would have my kitchen scale out and I'd be making sure they were all even, but I'm not fancy. So I'm just going to, estimate and try to get it by 4. There was a question in the chat, but I didn't see it.
let's just keep it open.
Oh, so the filling, so the recipe as written, the filling for the cinnamon assumes 1 that you would, if yours makes 1 regular recipe makes 2 pieces. Sorry, 2 pieces. The cinnamon filling would be just for 1 of them. So if you were making your recipe and you made it into 2 cinnamon, then you would need to double everything that's in that recipe because it only assumes it in 1. Does that make sense? Yes? No? Does this look even to you?
I mean, good enough. Not using
Okay.
kitchen scale. Pretty good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so I'm gonna put these over here. Let's just put that back in the bowl. I'll do that for challah later, but I'm gonna make this one into challah.
Can I read it?
Do you want to do the reading?
I want to read it.
Awesome.
I'm a professional reader over here.
She is.
Oh,
Okay. So here. So I divided this into 4 pieces. If you divide it into 3, you can just braid it like you would braid hair, just left over the middle,
yeah,
right
that's-
over the
that's
middle.
really good. Makes sense. Also, chocolate.
Yes, same thing for the chocolate. I'm keeping mental notes about things to specify in the recipe. So we are just making these into strands like this. So we're doing it into 4. If we were just doing oh yeah.
So you can just, the farther it is, the farther
Yeah.
it is back, the more you can see.
So if we were making just into 3, then we would just have these 3, but I'm using 4. And so we did them, I don't know, they're about,
Pretty cool.
yeah, they're like 10 inches long. You want to do this one too? And I just pinched them together at the,
It looks like a shin.
oh yes, it does look like a shin.
Not it's upside down shin for us.
Hello, this is Gilbert. Little cameo appearance. Hello.
Now you got flour on your hair. Good for
All
you.
right, so we've got 4 pieces here. So, oh, this is so hard because I'm doing it the other way. All right, so
I mean, they.
It doesn't- it doesn't.
They see it and then
Yeah.
they just see what you say.
So I would be going over the top one. Oh, sorry. I take the one on the left and I go over the one that's next to it, under the last one, and over. So it's over, under, over. And now we have a new left one. So we're always
Same
going,
thing.
yes. So she's going to go
Over,
over
under, and then
Under.
the one that we just braided through.
and over. And by the way, there are gazillions of ways to braid. There's all these round braids you
Like
can
a Dutch
do.
braid.
You can do, yes, here, keep going. But this is sort of my go-to
Under.
under, over. You know, I'm sure someone could teach a fabulous challah braiding in all the ways class. That's not this. So she just keeps going over, under, over. And then at the end, we have ends that
It's
are
like
kind of,
super bright. So
it's really bright.
weird, like just on the challah. Just
Why is
it's,
the challah so bright?
uh,
So
you could pick it up, I guess.
So the ends are not long enough to do anything else with.
They just push them
um,
together.
So I just pinch them together and sort of tuck them underneath. And mush it around a little bit. Mom, is it a problem the way that,
Created a video that knows this stuff.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
So
It's very bright.
it's really bright. Try turning off this top light.
Okay. Wait, but like this.
Yeah, just
This
turn,
one or both of them.
try both of them. We'll see if it gets too,
That's better.
okay.
Like, if
Is
we
that
turn
good?
both- If we turn both of them off, it would just be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely better. Okay, sorry about that. I was giving you a demonstration that you couldn't see. So that means that out of my 4, one of these is now a challah. So since that was a double, if I was making, I could say, okay, I just made a regular recipe. One is going to be a challah and one is going to be a babka. I am doing, just put that at the end.
Careful.
So I just braided one challah, but later on I'll braid the second one. So any challah questions before we go on to babka? I'm just looking at the mayor's video.
Before
Oh.
Rosh Hashanah.
Oh, I didn't see it. Amazing. Yes. Yeah, there are so many ways to do it. I would love to see it. I actually never saw it. Okay, so we are moving on to babka. We're going to do the cinnamon babka first. So I am flouring.
Lots of flour.
Lots
You
of
don't want it
flour.
sticky.
So I want to make it into a rectangle. So I put on here, I'm following the last
You need-
page.
oh, you don't want it to get
No, I
dirty.
don't want my phone there. The last page, the cinnamon babka recipe. So let's do the filling first. So step
I
one.
never saw this phrase.
Okay, so step one. In a mixing bowl, combine cinnamon, sugar, and salt. So Hala, we need a cup.
Is it brown sugar?
Yeah, brown sugar. So we need a cup of brown sugar. The other disclaimer I should have said is in no universe is this health food. We just have to lean into the butter, the oil, the sugar, just, you know, just what it is. So
Pack it down.
so Hala's got
This is what
brown
I do.
sugar. Yes,
Black.
yes, tap down the brown sugar. So very good, very good.
Okay.
And I put in here 1 to 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. We usually put in 2 tablespoons because Hallel is
Yeah,
our
it's
main
me.
cinnamon babka consumer, and it is impossible to give her too much cinnamon.
Yep.
So this is the new fancy Costco cinnamon. So this will,
Here, there's a thing.
I don't know. So this will be 2.
Why is it so hard?
This will be 2 tablespoons. But
According to
you know,
how
I think
people like
most people, Mindy was a taste tester for me. The Horowitzes said that was too cinnamony. So you sort of go with your cinnamon
it.
tolerance.
We studied tonight.
Yeah.
One.
So 1 and 2. And then, and Debbie, I can't, and Rhiannon, I can't see you from where I am, but please do unmute yourself if you have questions.
How much salt?
So a pinch. I have a generous pinch, but there we go. So just move that. Thank you.
I think you're gonna need this stuff again.
I will. So I am stirring up cinnamon and sugar. Yep. Right. So this is the filling for the cinnamon babka.
Don't want to let anything fall.
Thank you, Hollow.
Piece.
I know. No,
Cinnamon.
no, you do not put your fingers in here. Okay.
Is it going to be dairy or parve?
So I'm going to make this parve. I did my tester today, dairy, and we're having chicken for tomorrow night. So, but you can, especially delicious with butter, but this, we're going to use oil for this. So Hala, we need about, so it's not going to go in here though.
Okay. You're just gonna get.
So actually, can you get a little bowl?
Tammy,
Sandy.
what's a neutral oil?
So I'm using, this whole thing has been brought to you by Costco. I'm using,
So canola oil?
what?
Could you use canola oil?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, basically anything without like a really strong flavor, like, you know, olive oil has a stronger flavor.
Right.
And some people put olive oil in their challah and it's really delicious, but if you're going to make something sweet out of it, it probably doesn't taste as good. So we are going to
Roll it out.
roll this out.
Move stuff out of the way.
Thank you.
Allergy
Now,
vitamin.
babka breaks my rule of not baking anything that requires me to use a rolling pin. I told you I'm not fancy, but it's very easy. And so you can, I don't know if you can tell that it's sort of like, I push it and it shrinks back a little bit. It just means it's a nice elastic dough.
Remind me how big the piece is.
So the,
Look.
big the piece. So I'm going to make it into a rectangle. I put here about 12 by 18 inches. I do not have a ruler out when I'm doing this.
I can get it.
No.
Yeah, that was my hi, it's Mindy. That was my question. How, hi. How large, like how big of a hunk is that? Like,
So it's basically, did you make the dough?
no, I'm not making it right now, but for later, I just want to know if it's equivalent to,
So it's, when you make it, you make four
I
challahs
make
out of
four, when I make it, I make 4 challahs.
yours? Okay, so this would be a quarter of that.
Oh, so this is 1 challah. This is the whole, this is
So
equivalent to 1 challah.
Yes.
Okay,
correct.
great. Okay, thank you. Sorry.
No, it's good. So whatever you would be making one out of.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Jean. Yeah. All right. And those would probably be, delicious in a kind of challah with like, rosemary and like the rosemary sea salt challah in my recipe would be probably very delicious with really good olive oil, but not that. So I am rolling. It's sort of shrinking back a little bit. I'm also rolling awkwardly because I'm going to do it sitting down.
It has flour, it's not gonna stick, so you can just put it around.
That's
Do you
true.
want? Me too. I'm not even rolling.
So, you're going to want it, you don't want it so thin that that you're like able to really see through it. Then it can break. But you also want it to be kind of thin enough that you'll have enough times to kind of roll it over itself. And that's what will give you the
Swirls?
like the layers of the babka. So
It's like bread, cinnamon. Like
right,
it's so good.
right. The more it's rolled, the more times you get to roll it,
Swirls and
the more
stuff.
swirls you get. Okay. So
And now
How
do
are
put
we-
the oil in?
how are we doing with anyone who's
Any
making
questions?
this?
Are we going too
Questions?
fast?
All right. The ends are a little bit thicker. I'm gonna try to just roll those out a little bit. But like this is very forgiving. Like,
Pretty good.
so I have a little hole here.
It's gonna happen.
I'm just gonna smush it back in there and roll it out.
Pretend it never happened.
That's right. Pretend it never happened. You didn't see it. Okay. So now, did you do it in a little glass bowl?
Yes.
Okay. So, and the pastry brush. I will say also, everything is easier if you have a.
This is already.
That's okay. That's okay. If you have a helper like Hollow in the kitchen with you.
Yeah, I just blend myself in there.
So I just poured a little bit of oil here.
Like amount, like.
I mean, it's a couple of tablespoons, and I may not use all of this. So I'm just brushing this on here. Again, if it were butter, it would give you a very special butter flavor.
I didn't even taste the butter one.
No,
No, but apparently it was really good.
yeah. Yes, Noah prefers the butter.
This comes in. It's like, oh my what? Wash.
So I'm brushing,
It's like a lot on it, or just like
I'm-
light.
it's a light brush. It doesn't need to be thick, but this is just going to help the cinnamon sugar to stay
yeah.
in.
And I find all the spots
in
that have
place?
just like a little bit, like
All right.
right there, you need to like a brush
Thank
there.
you.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take this off and move this down.
We're gonna need
you.
it again.
We will. Okay. So that was step 3. And we are just going to sprinkle the cinnamon sugar. Yeah, well, don't put your fingers in it. Sprinkle the cinnamon sugar on top. Does it need to be even? I mean,
All of it.
it'll just spread. No.
Okay, fine. Fine.
All right.
That's good. Okay.
Thank you. So
I think I'm gonna use this again instead of getting
Yes,
another glass bowl. So I'll
that's
just leave this right here and put this away.
So I'm spreading this out. I'm gonna leave a little bit of a perimeter if I can.
like an inch-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed too.
Okay. Lots of cinnamon sugar goodness here. And if you were using walnuts, you would just, take the walnuts and just put them on top of here at this point. Okay, so we are on step 4. So I'm starting with one of these shorter ends so that I get more rolls and swirls. Yes. So I'm gonna start folding this over. You see this? Is the lighting okay? Mom, I'm really, yes? Good, okay. So, and I'm kind of just pinching it and rolling it.
Oh, good thing.
So I'm sort of going back and forth. Yes,
Do we spray parchment paper?
yes. So, rolling it over and like, just wait. And like, you can't break this. Like, I remember when I first started doing this, I was like so afraid of it. Like, what if I do something wrong with the dough? Like, it's dough. Like, you're in charge. So, if you're rolling it and you're rolling it a little bit unevenly, like, it's okay. Just, you can kind of pinch it up on the side a little bit. You won't break it. If you find yourself with a hole, push it back together. The dough doesn't.
You tell the dough.
That's right. You tell the dough. Okay. So now we're a good team here. It's also really quiet. I know we muted everyone so they could hear better, but it's sort of a little sad for us. So please unmute yourself if you have anything
No
to
one else
say.
here in the house.
That's right. We're here by ourselves.
That's
Okay.
nice. That's nice.
It is nice, quiet. Okay, so now, as you saw, I have this all rolled up. So mine, it's like a log. It's a swirl of cinnamon sugar log. So I just am sort of pushing this to make a seam.
I can't
in-
see.
Oh, sorry. I can see it.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of making
Yeah, that's what I said. Sponsored by Costco.
sponsored by Costco. That's right. Okay, so I'm going to kind of stretch it out a little bit. Again, like you're in charge. The dough will be
It's like
fine.
another piece of challah that you're just stretching out, ready to braid again. But remember, there's cinnamon sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
Swirls.
All right. So
swirls.
my technique, which is learned from others, is to then make this into a figure 8. So I've got this long piece here. I'm going to curl it around, sort of. It looks like a ribbon, and then just push the two ends together.
Oh my gosh, it's 8.
It's an 8.
It's so cool. It's like magic.
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 So we see this?
Yeah, and this is what you need to do for like someone's 8th birthday. Yeah. You just like don't put it in the pan. You just like cook it like that, and then you cut into
You're
it.
silly.
Maybe we should do that.
All right.
We
Did
should
you
do
spray
that.
this yet?
No.
No. I told you not to.
See,
Okay.
I never remember to spray it. So.
Okay. So we are spraying the parchment paper.
Yeah,
like,
That's like,
that's too much.
yeah, see, when I try to spray it.
Okay. So also Costco. So here's the loaf pan. I've got sprayed parchment paper here. And I am just going to lift it up and put it inside.
So cool.
You see it? So you know what I mean?
Gorgeous.
Oh, Mindy.
Oh, thank you.
No, the skewer. There's a skewer down there.
Okay.
The wooden. So yes, yes.
Okay.
So how it's going to do? So we're going to poke some holes. These are like skewers for barbecuing. But you want to go all the way down. So if you don't have this, you can use
I made a smiley face.
fork or a knife. But you want more than just a toothpick getting it at the top, because this is going to let some of the air come out. With the challah, you want it big and nice and puffy. But with the babka, you actually want some of that air to come. Yes, beautiful. You want some of that to come out so that it's a little bit more dense and you don't have the separation between the layers.
Where is that? Is it emoji?
There's an emoji there. It
Can't
looks
see it.
generally positive. Okay. So this is the cinnamon and it has been made. So I'm going to take it. Say bye. We're gonna move it over there and we're gonna cover it. You would let it rest for half an hour or so, just sort of let it rise again, and then you'd put the
You want the towel down.
you don't need it.
Just for
And
the
then
towel,
you
it's
would
rising.
put the topping, the streusel topping on top. But we're gonna do that later. So we're gonna move on to chocolate, but I read to spray
Do you use
pans.
a damp towel?
No, I'm reading this. I mean, you can use a damp towel. I do not.
3 of these.
I know. There's an extra. I've read to spray pans on the top shelf of the open dishwasher. All the excess spray stays contained in there. Easy cleanup when you run your dishwasher. Oh, who knew? Thanks.
What?
Um,
No.
spray in the pan. No, thank you. Okay. Any questions?
Yeah,
So
see, that was
far
my question
on
that
the
I knew
cinnamon.
someone was gonna ask, so.
Any questions so far? The cinnamon.
No damn
Debbie,
towel.
how are you doing? You unmute yourself and let us know?
The cinnamon is done. I'm taking out the dough for chocolate.
Ooh,
Amazing. Fantastic.
We'll go back.
Okay. Did I hand or machine? I only, I don't have a bread
It's
machine.
Good, it's good exercise. for
You
your
know, sometimes
hands.
you're feeling
You wanna
some kind of feelings and you just,
punch the dough.
get some feelings out. I've never used a bread machine. I know a lot of people have a lot of success with it. Probably if I tried, I might not go back to this way, but I actually really appreciate the,
We're doing the,
but I actually really appreciate just kind of having my hands in it and doing it myself. Okay, so we are going to move on to.
I just wanted to say, Tammy, I've used my KitchenAid to
Oh,
do
that-
it. But
yeah.
if you don't have a very large KitchenAid, the big problem is that you run out of room in the bowl for
Yeah.
it to knead in the machine. So you're better off doing it by hand.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes.
Unless you're making a very small recipe.
Yeah, and I also, I don't know what it is. I was taught to do it by hand. It's like when you're taught to do something a certain way, like, I don't know, I feel loyalty to that way. Okay. So, oh, good. I wrote on the
Taught you
chocolate
that?
babka. What?
Did your mother teach you that?
Did my mom teach me how to make challah?
By hand? Kneading it by hand?
No, I mean, my mom tried to teach me to cook for many years of my life when I was here in
Yeah.
grade school and high school, and I was not really interested in cooking then. I think 'cause she was
We're different.
cooking for me. But
And make meals.
yes, Jean, absolutely. Like
But what about Joyce's question?
so does the humidity outside affect your dough stickiness? If I was I don't know the answer to that. It probably does, and I probably don't notice. I do notice the temperature. So in the when it's warmer outside, it rises faster. So sometimes I will put it in the oven at like the proofing setting or just at a very, very low setting and then turn it off.
100?
Yeah. And then and then it'll rise better.
No, never mind.
Never
That was
mind.
a stupid
Okay.
question.
I can tell you the difference between a bread machine and by hand is by hand, you have a better feel for the dough. In the bread machine, you get what you get.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that's right. I've never done it with bread. Yes. But
I
right.
do
No,
both.
yes.
Alright,
So
rolling
what do you
pin
use,
or-
Mayor?
Wait, rolling pin?
I do both. If I have to make a big batch, I do by hand. If I have a smaller batch, I do my bread machine. My bread machine makes about 4 pounds of dough.
Oh, wow.
And I do measure out my challah rolls.
You what?
I do the balls that I make into the ropes. I do measure out to make sure they're each exactly the same.
Yes. I know. That's what I say. I feel like, you know, here it is. I'm teaching this. I'm like, I'm not like it's not like the
been
real,
almost
the
40
real,
minutes
the real
already.
thing.
It went so fast.
Okay, so let's get the rolling pin.
Are we rolling it out or doing
Oh,
it
okay.
first?
Okay. So step one, we can combine the fillings, the filling ingredients. So except for the chocolate chips. So I will say that I think this needs a little bit more oil than what it says. It says 1/3 cup. I think it's probably more of 1/2 cup. So if we bring the oil, Matt, just pour me 1/2 cup of oil.
Let's see.
And then I'm going to get the So here's the sugar. And Mayor, by the way, please answer questions that, thank you, because I just know what I do, and we all just know what we do and all kinds of things, but I will have answers that are much less sort of experienced in doing the baking than yours. So please chime in. Okay.
I
So
wouldn't be so sure about that, Tammy.
what?
I wouldn't be so sure about that. Yes, I do sell my chalot now, but still,
Oh, you do?
yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow. I'll have to hear more about that. Okay. So I've got sugar in here and oil. I put the sugar in. I put in 3/4 cup. And then I
Making sure
want,
everyone knows.
yes, thank you. And now I have 1/2 cup
There's a
of,
1/2 cup.
oh, well, this is
Not,
1/2 cup.
that's not.
So I've got 1/2 cup of cocoa
That's-
powder going in.
But more like 3/4. That's right.
For the
And
streusel topping, should it be bread flour or all-purpose flour?
all-purpose
Is
flour
there
is
any
fine.
cinnamon going in?
No, and just a little bit of salt. You can put a little bit of cinnamon in with the with this. I kind of like it. Yeah. All right. So I got a pinch of.
And I just like
We start up.
I am.
Okay.
This is my favorite part.
Yes.
One of them. There's a lot of favorite parts about it.
So, and then this is going to start looking like brownie batter. And again, there are different kinds of fillings. There are fillings that you melt like chocolate chips in a double boiler and you stir in the oil or the butter then. That takes a while, but you know, it's just another step. But you might find, you know, if you start making this, you might find that you're looking for a different kind of filling. There's ones where you put it in the chocolate in the food processor, like chocolate chips, just to get them into really tiny pieces. All those
Just
are.
make sure everything's mixed up here.
Okay.
Brownie batter.
So it looks kind of like brownie batter now. So
It's actually brownie batter. Guys. No, no.
all right. So now we're going to do the same thing.
Putting the brownie batter on the side.
This dough.
Do we need any more oil?
Not right this one.
Is there any more going in there?
Okay. So I'm rolling.
Roll the dough. Paper. Is there anything else I should do right now?
No.
You need water?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do I notice that? Oh, did we answer that question before? Oh,
Uh,
no. Do you
No,
notice
we
any
just
difference?
missed a bunch.
No, do you notice any difference between using bread or all-purpose flour for challah dough? I mean, I think that I usually use bread flour. It's my understanding it's a higher protein flour. Target, by the way, I will just say has the least expensive King Arthur bread flour out there. I just got a whole bunch from Target today.
King Arthur flour is the best.
It's delicious. It's like $3.50 or something for a 5-pound bag at Target. Okay.
I use all purpose.
And you use all purpose. I mean, do you see it? Can you tell a difference?
No, not at all.
No. You know, it's actually funny. I had only made it with bread flour before. And then came quarantine. Yeah. And last March and April, I was never able to get, interesting, Rhiannon. Yeah, I do think that's true. But when I wasn't able to get the bread flour, I started using all purpose. And I think the taste is mostly the same, but that's interesting that it stays fresh for longer. All right, so I am just stretching this out a little bit. Rhiannon, are you making this at the same time?
Put it in the chat.
I'm making the chocolate filling and the streusel at the moment, but I'm just not moving as fast, and I'm still letting my dough rise a little bit on the
Got it.
near
Is
the warm
Toby
oven.
there?
Oh, he went upstairs a while ago with Dave after his initial antics.
Toby,
Tommy's like, where's Toby?
yes. Say hi to Toby for me in the morning.
I will.
Okay, so I'm rolling it out. Okay, so and the filling, please.
Okay.
Helper. Oh, you know what I need?
What?
A rubber spatula.
Okay. Oh yeah, this is my
Thank you.
other favorite part. They're all my favorite parts.
Someone asked if I taught Tammy how to make challah, and I
Oh.
taught her to go to Pratzel's to get challah. And then one time I got this overnight package, and she had learned how to make challah when she was in New Jersey, and she shared it with me. It was so wonderful. And I said, well, maybe I should start. And so she sent me the recipe, and I've been making challah ever since. It's been a long time.
And I will just say that I don't take it personally, but whenever you give us challah, the kids always say it's that it tastes better than mine because it's made with so much love.
Or it's just made,
Oh,
but
But they also say the same thing, like, we can get the exact same strawberries at Costco, and they're like, Baba's just tastes better.
yeah. Like,
Strawberries.
it's not even Baba's. It's
They're
just-
cut up with so much love.
Yeah.
Okay, so halal is spreading. Here, yeah. So we're spreading the filling. So, okay, here, take your job. I don't want to put you out of a job. So, we're just sort of painting it on here.
You're an artist. This is very fun.
An
inch away.
Yeah, leave about an inch of space. And I didn't roll this one out as much, so I might not actually need all the filling.
All right, move your hand. Thank you. See, I'm taking over now.
Debbie, you good? Debbie,
Hopefully.
we're hoping you're good out
Yeah.
there.
Your helper is doing an excellent job.
She's very,
Oh,
very good
thank
at her.
you.
My
I'm
girlfriend,
spreading
Helen.
chocolates.
Oh, good.
Okay.
too.
So
All right.
is that good on?
Yeah. Yeah. So we're spreading chocolate.
And then you can use this for brownie batter.
So I had a little bit left. If you roll it out a little bit bigger, then you'll need a little bit more filling to spread over it. Okay. And then, so I'm gonna give a special shout out to this is what we use. We order a big shipment on before Passover. They're Equal Exchange. It is
They're so much better than
so these are bittersweet. It's organic, fairly traded chocolate. Kasha Lepesa. So we order like big box. We use a lot of it on Pesach. And so the recipe calls for 6 ounces of chocolate chips. So I am,
Look, measure it out.
it's about half of this. I am just going to scatter them.
There's one for me, chocolate.
I know. If you have mini chocolate chips, which I don't know if there are any parv. Oh, this is also parv. you need to do this. Is this driving you crazy?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So we're spreading this around. Okay. That's good. No, that's good. Doop. Okay. Okay.
I'm very picky about where the chocolate chips go. You can see.
All right. So same thing. I'm going to roll it up starting with the
No, it's sideways.
net. It is sideways. I'm just going to have to do it sideways.
Like, can you turn it?
I could, but I'm afraid it'll rip.
Yeah.
Don't do that. So
I'm getting my shirt dirty.
We can see it better if it's sideways, I think.
oh,
Oh,
Well,
no,
now I know.
I'm here now.
all right.
Good
So
dog,
I
Roy.
am rolling this out. And for the chocolate especially, it being a little bit thicker can be a good thing because there's just more filling. I've had like a rip come as I'm doing this. It got the table a little messy, but that was the worst thing that happened. So I'm rolling it.
Do we want the glass one or the other one?
That's fine.
I don't know. This one?
Okay. So, and again, I've got to get this to stick. And I'm just kind of pushing it in there so that this
Okay, it's good. I know. That's why I stopped.
very overzealous. Okay, so, and I'm going to tuck the, I hope you guys are amused by this. I'm going to tuck the ends under a little bit, especially because the filling is, it's a little bit more liquidy so that it doesn't pour out the bottom. So now this is kind of tucked under. I'm doing the same thing. I'm just going to sort of gently stretch it out.
Put your brain computer up. Put it in, and then it comes out, and it's like,
Okay. And then I'm going to make,
what do you spray your parchment paper with?
oh,
Canola oil.
Costco's Finest.
Canola oil.
Yeah, it's just the canola oil spray. What do you use, Mayor?
Okay.
He said
Actually, what I was asking is why.
Oh, why do you spray it? Oh.
Figure eight again.
I feel like it just comes out easier. I feel like especially if some of the filling leaks out the bottom, that it can get a little sticky. Is it necessary? Maybe not.
It's just easier,
but
like you take the parchment paper out and then you just like it just rips
Yeah.
it off. Yep.
Like challah, I don't spray it, but with the
Okay.
filling, I've found that it sometimes
And you
sticks.
also it's like around the sides, not just over the
All
bottom,
right,
too.
so
Figure eight, the magic figure eight.
I've got another. Well, this
I know.
I had an 8, and then it mushed as I'm trying to hold it vertical. Okay. So I'm going to. So I want to say also that like the streusel topping is extra special delicious. Do you have to put it on? You do not. You can brush it with a little bit of egg and, or you let it rise, brush it with a little egg. Yes, please. And put it in the oven. Where's you got it? All right, Hollow's poking, she's stabbing the chocolate now. Oh, that's good to know, Paula. Paula found carved mini chocolate chips. Yeah, I mean, those are sort of nice because you can more evenly spread them out.
I never knew that you poked holes in it. There was always a
Okay, so what do we need to do? We need, what time is it? Okay, we need to, yeah, so we're going to make the streusel topping.
Do we need a bowl?
Yeah, if you, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Just get another bowl.
Or the bowl that was out and I'll put it away just to get it out again.
Okay.
Do we need more?
Debbie, you good?
Does this one also have to sit for a half hour to rise?
I mean, I think so. I think it helps, but I don't think it's imperative if you need to get it in. But like, do you let your challah rise a little bit after you braid it?
Yes.
How long do you usually do that?
Depends. If I use your recipe, then I let it sit. If I use somebody else's recipe that usually does the braiding after the first rise, then I make sure that the challah doubles first before I put the egg on.
Interesting. Okay.
I let mine rise for an hour.
Maybe that's why it's so fluffy, or maybe it's the love. It's hard to know. Okay, so I am going to do the street. I know, I lost my helper. She's petting the dog. Yeah, wash your hands before you come back. Okay, so again, it's very tasty with the topping. Is it necessary? It is not. Okay. Well, everything's better with some extra, sugar and flour on top, but okay. So now I've got, this is my half a cup of flour. And a quarter cup of sugar. Oh wait, I'm doing the chocolate first. Okay, I didn't realize which page I was on. So this is the chocolate filling, or the chocolate, falling apart without my helper. The chocolate. You gotta come back, wash your hands and come back. And we're putting in 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder.
When needed.
You are needed. You're always needed.
Hold on, but most of the time.
Always.
It's very
All right, a little bit of salt. I am, can you bring me another fork?
Yeah, I'm right here. Big or small?
Thanks. You're hired. Small? She's available for rent. She's very, very handy.
Yeah, I'm handy.
She's very good. Okay,
And this is just cocoa butter.
so this is cocoa powder, sugar and flour. And then
Do we need the
I
cocoa
need
powder anymore?
2 tablespoons of oil.
The table is so clean.
I know. What can you do?
2 tablespoons is this.
It's half of this. This is a quarter cup. And you're not supposed to pour it over the bowl, because what if you pour it? Okay.
Well, it's easier. What if you pour too much, then it's in the bowl, it's not on the table.
Okay. Stir it up.
And this does not look like brownie batter,
No.
unless you put more in. Which don't.
And once that's stirred up,
Put more chocolate
some
chips.
chocolate chips on top.
I should bring chocolate chips. I'm getting fancy.
Sorry.
No, they've been so good. They have
Those are the dogs. It's possible that that is the rest of my family coming home from Caleb's baseball game.
Be quiet.
Is that them? That's them? All right. So if you have any questions for your local rabbinic authority, he's about to come in the door. So here is this topping, and we bring the Challah Babka back. They can come in. Hey, how's the game? Good? You can come in. What? Okay. So you on? Great. Hello, everybody. Come say hi.
We're all here. It's gonna be. This is that loud.
So here is the topping. You can wait for this to go the extra half an hour. I mean, you probably should, but I'm just going to show you that.
Have another meeting at 8.
Here's Caleb. Say hi.
Hi.
Listen how low his voice is. Isn't that cute? Who else is here?
They're all
Hi,
saying
Noah.
hi.
Hello.
Hi,
Good
Noah.
game?
What?
Good game?
Good game.
Good game. Good game. Good game.
Can I invite another topic here?
Just don't take. Yeah, I'll show you. Don't mess anything up.
Okay.
Okay, there's one slice.
So- Here's Abra. It was really peaceful in my house for a while. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. Okay, so I put the streusel topping on top. It's just kind of layered on top, if you can see that. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Good. Can you do some of your work?
Not really.
Okay, great. Okay, so the topping on this is done.
And then it looks just like, no,
Yeah,
there's no 8. The magic 8 is gone. Okay, cinnamon.
Now we're gonna get your hands on all the chocolate chips.
Oh. I can have
See what
that
I
if
do?
it's in- Yeah, see, this is the bad kind of loud.
Okay. Wait.
Greasiness.
I feel like we're gonna start losing people. Okay. So now I'm gonna do the topping for the cinnamon. So you want to mix up the flour and sugar and cinnamon before you put the oil in. So we'll want half a cup. Where's the half a cup? Half a cup of the flour. That's fine.
Wait, is this has, hold on. No, that's, wait. Hold on.
Oh, you're fine.
This is a third of a cup. Where's half? Here's a half cup. Yeah, you're just doing, I'm trying to get it perfect, you're just doing it.
And then we need the brown sugar.
Brown sugar.
So I get half a cup of flour, half a cup of brown sugar.
And some cinnamon. We have to put this on.
Yeah, a teaspoon of
Yeah.
cinnamon.
Or like a big.
No, follow the recipe. It's a teaspoon of cinnamon.
Okay, I'll
Bye,
just-
Randy. Oh, I didn't see your tuna. Oh, good. I'm glad. Yes, we're having fun. Get another fork. I'll just wipe that off. Okay. Okay. So we're mixing up the streusel topping. Streusel. Were you cheering for Caleb?
Yeah.
Okay. And now we need the oil.
No one
No.
There you go. Now you see.
The family affair. All right. Can I have the measuring spoons? Thank you.
What?
Got one.
How many do you need?
Two.
2. Okay. 2 tablespoons of olive oil or vegetable
Oil. Stir that up.
Again, not brownie batter. Exactly. No.
I'm missing everybody though.
Babka.
I want everyone to unmute.
I'd like unmute
Feels
for a second.
lonely.
No,
I got
no.
Interference.
Okay.
Okay. So we've got cinnamon, sugar, a little salt, and the oil mixed in. Again, if you're using butter, always delicious. And we're just gonna pour this over the top of the cinnamon.
Any time that you're using olive oil for this, and if you're making it dairy, you just use butter.
Yes,
Okay. Anytime that you're using olive oil.
not olive oil, vegetable oil.
Yeah. Oh,
So I'm putting this on top. Some of it goes in the corners where there isn't any dough. That's fine.
Tammy,
Matter.
Tammy,
Yeah.
the recipe said to spread beaten egg first before you put the streusel topping on, yes or no?
I don't think so. Did it?
Number 7 on the babka preparation.
It doesn't say egg. Does it? Mine doesn't.
Mine does.
On the babka preparation. I wonder if you have an old, did you take this recently from the website?
Yeah,
Well,
it doesn't say. It
This
doesn't
one
say
does.
anything about boiling it.
Um,
Do you brush it with egg?
you know, I haven't been. It's probably not a bad idea actually, but I haven't been. I don't know. I wonder if it's it's just a different version of it. So
This one says April 10th, 2021.
that
It's an
may have
older
been
one.
an earlier version before it's not, if you put egg on top, it'll be totally fine. In fact, it'll probably help the streusel topping to stick onto it a little bit more.
Okay.
So
Well, I didn't do it
maybe-
yet, so that's why I was stopped.
oh, sorry.
It
Yeah.
says to do it before you put the streusel on.
Okay. So I actually think that I may add that back into the recipe. Because I think, is it help?
Stop.
Here, Abra, you want to go?
Like go upstairs.
Okay, so I've got the cinnamon ready, and then the chocolate is ready. And I want to know what other, yes, we're doing good with time. I actually made some earlier today, so I could show you. But no. Okay. But in full disclosure, I think I undercooked it a little bit. So I actually think on the recipe that you'll want it a little bit more cooked. It says, I think 35 to 40 minutes. I would turn it, hold on, just, I want to show it. I would turn it around at 20 minutes, but you may want it sort of closer to the 45, 50-minute mark. And you'll know when it's brown on top, then yeah, you really want it to be able to be browned on top. So here, this is a slice of cinnamon. You can see all the nice swirls in there. And some of the middle of the chocolate, I'm real about it. Was a little bit, you want to taste test it? I wish I could share some with everybody. See, this would be the part if we were doing it in person, then we would say, well, we made this, and then I would pull this out from the kitchen and say, oh, surprise, we have some that's already been cooked.
Actually, it was just cooked very fast. Sped up time.
So yeah, exactly. So it seems to me that the more filling that's in, especially for the chocolate, the longer that it takes. It's just more liquid in there. It just takes longer. So, I mean, not that it's bad if it's a little bit like what's the word?
Runny.
Like
Gooey.
But if you're using more, if you have a more generous spread of butter and oil in there, that probably impacts the cooking time too. But you'll know when it's also the size of your baking pan, of the loaf pan. Some are smaller or bigger than others. So so I would call it probably, you're looking at 40 to 50 minutes rather than 35 to 40, and you'll just check it. All right, so Hallel is going to
No, I
demonstrate.
want the top part.
So
Demonstrate tasting it. This is needed. This part is.
what are you doing?
I don't know. Like, how do you?
So just take a bite.
Oh, okay.
No, thank you. Force feeding.
Try it.
All right, try it. Don't eat it over this.
So which flavor do you like the best?
Me?
Who are you asking?
Both of
Cinnamon.
you.
Always cinnamon. Cinnamon all the way.
I actually prefer the cinnamon with this also. The cinnamon,
Good job. Made the right choice.
thank you.
All right,
The cinnamon tastes a lot like I make a cinnamon sugar challah, and it's very similar. First of all, it's the same dough. Second, it has, it's just the cinnamon sugar, mixed in. I just put it into the braids of the challah and then braid that. So it doesn't have the streusel topping on the challah, but it's the same idea. And like I said before, if you have, if you use a dedicated, a special, here, just take a special babka dough, it might be a richer dough than the challah dough is. But the beauty of this is you can, make a batch of dough, take half, make a challah, take half, make a babka. You've got the beginning of your meal, you've got the end of your meal set with one dough recipe. I'm reading Linda's sweet
That
note.
looks delicious.
You're very sweet. So, and you should see my phone number and email on the website for this, but Mom, my fingers are messy. Will you just type them into the chat? Because my, even though, again, I'm not an expert here, but when I teach, whether in person or now on Zoom, it's a ongoing offer that if you have questions while whenever you're making it, or if you want to show me a picture when it's done, please be in touch.